COVID-19. COVID-19 has brought so many problems, conflicts, difficulties, and has torn apart and saddened many people. During these difficult times, so many people had many different experiences, and everyone had to face their own challenges and hard times. All of a sudden, things began to become a lot more serious, and we all had to shut down. Many felt lonely and scared. The virus infected many thousands of people. We all had to shelter in our homes during the periods of time we were under lockdown restrictions. Everyone had to take precautions and find ways to stay safe and healthy. People had to wear masks and take their temperatures wherever they went to make sure they did not have the virus. Schools were forced to go online this year and learn from a distance. Everyone had to social distance and stay 6 feet apart from others at all times. Grocery stores were affected by the virus, and many supplies were low or out of stock, like cleaning supplies, food, and bathroom tissues. Restaurants had to close down, and many cities were left empty. During these complicated times, everyone needs a little joy and companion to be by their side. Who would not want a snuggly kitten or celebrate dog kisses from your animal in the morning? Now let's move on to our interviews with 2 pandemic pets and hear how their families adopted them during the time of COVID-19. This is Maggie's story.
We adopted Maggie when she was, I think she was around 7 months. And I think now she's 9 months old. We adopted her on December 8th. But they assume she's some type of German Shepherd mix. I think she definitely has some type of Australian Shepherd mix in her because just how she likes to play, you can tell she's definitely a herding dog.
What she can do is we can get her to lie down, we can get her to wait, we can get her to sit, we can sometimes get her to shake, paw. Emily taught her that one.
Okay, so how we adopted Maggie and how she became part of our family was that we've always been looking into adopting. So from the Sacramento SPCA, we learned that Maggie and I think a bunch of other dogs and puppies, I think maybe she was with 15 other dogs, were coming from Oklahoma. And that's then how we found out that Maggie was available to adopt through their website. It was just the perfect time and the perfect fit. And then just the appointment, I know that can be definitely a daunting experience because if you really want to adopt a dog, and then if you're not that first person to get that first appointment, more than likely, I think, if you really see a dog that you want on the website, if you don't have that first appointment, that dog might be taken. So it's definitely, we got lucky. We're both teachers, so we have both been working from home during this COVID time. So it's definitely helped, especially with the adjustment of getting a new dog. Because dogs do take a lot of your time. So I think that's been a silver lining of anything of COVID is that we got Maggie and we've been home during this time to train her, give her all the love that she needs.
This is Sunny's story.
She's about 2.5 years old.
It is a Jindo mix from South Korea.
You want her to do?
Yeah, so she actually came and knowing a couple of basic tricks since she went through doggy training over there in Korea.
No, she's not gonna do it. Sit. Good girl. So.
And
She knows it in Korean.
and a very special one.
Will you go? There you go. I don't have a treat though. Sorry. Online.
Well, we were first looking at shelters here locally,
yeah.
but it was really hard. They kept adopting out the dog that we applied for because there were so many people listed who applied, and by the time they got to our application, the dogs that we wanted here locally would be adopted out already. So I stumbled across another organization who was rescuing dogs from South Korea to be adopted to California, and that's where we saw Sunny's profile.
Yeah.
But she was living as a stray on the beach in South Korea for maybe a year and a half before she was rescued. And they knew she was owned because she did have on a collar, but it was a puppy-sized collar. So as she got older, she was a year and a half, that collar got tighter and tighter around her neck. And so by the time they finally rescued her, it was a pretty big injury because she had grown to, nearly a full-size dog at that point. And so they had to perform surgery. We had to just submit a basic application like everywhere else, and then they called us to do an interview just about why we wanted this particular dog, what experience we had with previous dogs, and what our living situation was like, sort of thing. So once that was all approved, they had to figure out a way to fly her over here. So that entailed waiting for somebody who already had a ticket from Korea over to San Francisco, and that person had to volunteer to bring this dog with them, and we would meet that person at the airport.
Not that many people could fly at that time, so we weren't actually sure if we were going to get her or not because of COVID-19. And we adopted her from the Joey and Bailey is the name of the foundation that we adopted her from. And they rescue all kinds of breeds from South Korea and bring them over here. So
yeah, so if anyone wants to check them out, they're a great organization, nonprofit, and they really do a good job of making sure the pets get placed with really good families.
My name is Marnie Musser. I'm the Community Outreach Manager at the Sacramento SPCA.
I went to a local shelter called the Sacramento SPCA to hear more about their viewpoint of the COVID-19 lockdown. I talked to Marnie, which is the Community Outreach Manager. Her job covers everything from their Love on Loan pet therapy program, education program, the paw pantry, Pet of the Week segments, and mobile adoptions. I learned a lot of amazing information, but we're going to focus on two main points, which are which is a conflict and positive that occurred to the shelter because of COVID-19.
So the first thing that affected us is that we had to completely shut down back in, I'll never forget the date, March 17th. So we had so much support from the community because we had to get the majority of the animals out of our shelter and into temporary foster homes. So we had over 200 animals out in our foster community that we have here. They were in foster for up to 3 months, so that was a huge impact. However, during that time, we still took in what we call emergency owner surrenders. We still accepted those even during those 3 months. We also accepted strays. So we were still open for emergencies. We just couldn't do any appointments with them. And it hurt not just us, but of course it hurts the community. So it's impacted us obviously across the board. The other area it's impacted is that we're not able to do a lot of outreach. So the positive side for COVID is that when we did completely close down, we said, okay, well, what services can we provide to the community? So we created the paw pantry because one of the things that we thought about is how can we divert animals coming into our shelter, because that's our biggest goal, is that people don't even need to bring their animals to a shelter. So what can we provide for them at this point where people are losing their jobs or their hours are being cut, so that they can keep their animals, so that we can provide free food. So we started that actually on April 1st, and we have continued it to this day. And it's we have it twice a week. Yeah, there's no income requirements. We don't care how much money you make. We just want to be here for that safety net so that you can keep your pets at home. So we've done what COVID has done. It's made us have to think outside the box and in different ways where we can reach the community.
This year has been extremely hard, and COVID-19 has caused so many complications. Having pets around with you will, without a doubt, bring a smile to your face and put you in a good mood, just like these pandemic pets have done to their owners.